It's Thursday morning. It's 5 o'clock, right? This is a day of an entrepreneur. Like there is no rest when you're starting a business, when you're starting out. And whether you're raising money, doing accounting, our accounting team is overseas, whether you're out on a job site, walking properties, whatever it is, this is the life of an entrepreneur. And this is a word of caution to all those out there who want to be an entrepreneur, that this does not stop. 53 years old, still doing it, still grinding, still doing what it takes every single morning, getting up. I've had partners, I've had all these other kind of, I've had investors, I've had I've had wannabe, project managers, I've had all those things. And at the end of the day, like when you want to get stuff done, you got to do it yourself. When you get to the point in your life or in your business where you can afford top-notch people, it does change then. There's no doubt about that. But until that phase, that might be 2 years in for you. Some of it might be 6 months into it for you. Some of it might be 5 years. It's going to vary depending on what you're in or what you're doing. You have to get up every morning. You have to get up even when you don't want to. You're going to have to get up when it doesn't feel right. You're going to have to get up when you feel sick. I've had bronchitis. I've had pneumonia sitting on job sites. I've had meetings at 2 a.m. because our teams are, I'm working with a team that might be overseas doing our accounting. You got to show up every day. Like if your life is about entrepreneurship, if you're all about producing a life that you could only dream of, and you know what, it might take you till you're 60. Look at guys like Colonel Sanders. Look at guys that started Starbucks, or not started Starbucks, but took Starbucks to the next level. When you start looking at the average age of people, like social media has a really wicked kind of twisted view of what entrepreneurship is and so on. Here I am, the founder of the company, I was actually up at 2 this morning. Now I did go to bed at 8, so don't feel sorry for me. But you got to get your ass up. You got to grind. You got to use those God-given talents that you have. And you're not pressing. You're just trying to do what works for you and what works for your business. And every business, I promise you, is different. When I was a contractor, I had to be on a job site at a certain time every single day. When I was a subcontractor, I had to be to the jobs, certain schedules. I was there when they told me to be there. And when I was a builder, it had all of its other things around it. I had to be in certain meetings. I had to be, meet with certain clients, or I had to meet with our real estate agents, you name it. And then going into the development world, man, it's a whole nother world. Every single phase of what I've done is different. And each one of them have their own pain points and things that hurt. But I tell you what, you better get your butt up in the morning. You better be diligent and use your time wisely. I meet a lot of young people. Like, how do you do this? How do you grind? It's a grind. It might be a 5-year grind. It was almost, I would call it 10 years before my first business was successful. 10 years. And a lot of it's not because you can't do it. I think it's like when you're just by yourself and that's the only thing you have to worry about. No employees, don't have to worry about marketing budgets, don't have to worry about accounting budgets, don't have to worry about production. It's just working with your hands. Like that is low-lying fruit. And I think that is reasonable that you can master that in a very short amount of time. And some people are just smarter and wiser. Not smarter, I think wiser. That knowledge and understanding. But I'm talking about really successful, doing well, have employees, things like that. And each time it gets progressively easier if you stay in the same field. But when you jump fields like I have, or now I'm into the development world, that's just a whole nother ballgame. You got to choose what you want for your life. There'll be times when your wife won't like you, your girlfriend won't like you, or vice versa. Like, why are you working all night? Why are you doing this? Like, I don't get it. And when you have a worker mentality, that's exactly what happens. When it's just about work, you're just exchanging your time for money. And so you say to yourself, why would you do that for somebody else? But when it's your baby, when it's your birth, you have to do differently. Like, why would you ever want to deal with the investors? Why do you what do you want to do? You have to get your ass up and grind. Why would you ever have to want to deal with the auditors? Like, going through an audit in a state is painful. Going through tax audits, painful. Because it exposes the things that everybody makes mistakes in this business. And exposes that. I promise you, everybody makes mistakes. I've partnered with the wrong people. I have hired the wrong contractors. I've hired people that have threatened my life. I have hired everything, drug addicts, everything and anything in between. So everybody makes mistakes. And you just have to be prepared to work through it, to get up the next day. When I first started out, $1 million seemed like a massive amount. And if you told me, man, if you had $1 million cash, and I think realistically, once you know what you're doing, it takes less than a year to make that $1 million, if that's what you want. But everybody's chasing a different level. Like, if you've never made $100,000, you're going to chase that. And what makes it more difficult is partners and scale and size, because scale and size all require systems. And you have to be prepared for what those systems look like and how you run them. When I first started, I couldn't figure out how to run 45 items in a budget. Now I can do it in my sleep. I can actually do I used to have to write out schedules on a thing, and you can do that. You can write out schedules, but I tell you what, once you've done it, it's a phone call. You need the tile installed this week? It's a phone call. I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy. That's really how simple it is. And so you start calling and you start fitting. When you figure out that how to raise money and how to do those kind of things, it's a guy and a guy and a guy and a guy. Hey, I know a guy who has this money, who has this money. I know a dentist who has this, who's doing this and who's doing this. And it's really just working through contacts and saying, here's what it is. Or it's as simple as doing some marketing and getting people to call you. And that's even funner. I used to say my biggest problem was I couldn't buy a house. I couldn't buy it at the right price and so on. That's not true. Anybody, you can. Like, anybody can buy a house for the right price. I guarantee on a daily basis, there is always somebody that is in trouble, that is in a divorce, is in debt, has death. Those all exist. Don't care who you are. It exists out there for you. And it's readily available on the RMLS. It doesn't have to be off the market. It doesn't have to be through some skip tracing. For those who don't know what skip tracing is it looks for known values like missed payments on utilities. It's another sign. When I started, that was the biggest problem. At some point, my biggest problem is I didn't know my ratios. Now I don't buy anything without the ratios. Entrepreneurship is worth it. It's worth it to fight for yourself, fight for your family. And you got to choose wisely on a daily basis on who's going to be part of my group. I have multiple companies today, a lot around assets, a lot around. We have a new coaching business. We have all kinds of things, and it's the same shit. It's the same identical thing. Those who are diligent win. Those who are disciplined win. Things come to you when you work, when you move. Today it might be a phone call. You can make one phone call today and it could make a difference in somebody's lives. Just one. Just one phone call. Be diligent in what you do. Be disciplined. Get up early. And if you do that for 5 years, it's hard not to be successful. I promise you. Look at everything. Don't get caught up in it, but work on it. If you've got a problem in front of you, don't ignore it. Work on it. Some of my greatest failures are failures because I seen a problem and I ignored it and I ignored it and I ignored it until it became something else. And then it becomes unfixable. Yes, there are things that are unfixable in life, especially in business. Know what you need to do on a daily basis. Get up, ignore the noise, ignore the people that are after you. Get your butt up out of bed, get to work. Whether it's sitting in an office like I am today or later on today when I have to go to a job site, meet with the excavator, see where we're at, get ready for the steel framing, get ready for the wood framing, call the city and ask them, hey, where are our water meters? Where's our line for the fire sprinkler? You know, whatever it is that you need to do, you have to get up and do it. You're not going to find it on your phone. What you find on your phone is what I'm doing right now. Like, you can make money with your phone. You can monetize what you do. That's what being an entrepreneur is working your butt off when nobody else. And if you have people in your organization and they're partners with you and they don't do the same thing as you do, you're probably not aligned. I can't tell you how many business partners I've had that just aren't aligned because they don't have the work ethic to do it. Because it feels like you get very little sleep. You ever look at anybody that's made great money, they're putting in time. There's all kinds of things. But you do need to put in your time. Get up. So get up today. Get up tomorrow. Put in your time.